Samurai Jack series finale. Of course, it is the final episode of our unfortunately short 10 episode season 5, and it was done perfectly. Like, it was a great episode. This whole season has been a great blend of Samurai Jack, both old and new, and this episode probably did it, oddly enough, in the best way, despite the fact that we pretty much had one whole episode devoted to like the throwback stuff. I feel like this was the perfect blend. They still added in a bunch more references to old characters. We had the dog character, we had the underwater characters, and there were a couple others that were thrown in there. But not only do we get to see the older versions of those characters come back into play, but we also get the original opening to the series. We get to see, by the end of the episode at least, we get to see the initial moment of the first episode where Jack was thrown back in time. And it was all really well done. They even show it for anyone who may have missed the voice credits. It was actually the original audio. Like, it even says like past Aku, and it's Mako at the bottom. So I thought that was actually really great that they did that. It was just like, well, we have the old audio, they just used new animation for it, and it was great. It was like, wow, that was a really cool way to do that, and it was just really well done. You know, we get the original opening, we see all these characters. Of course, they all join together to fight against Aku. It's still pretty crazy because, of course, like when he's first starting to get pissed off, he's kind of laughing it off, and he's like, well, past to get exterminated, and he just, you know, squashes those people. But it turns out he actually changes them into small versions of him, and it just gets more and more chaotic as it goes on. So we have all these characters being killed off, and Jack is constantly trying to survive against the, you know, evil version of Ashi. So he's trying to help her, and she's struggling mentally to try to, you know, take over the Aku, you know, power. And it was just very interesting. I was like, wow, this is really crazy what they're going through. And of course, the Scotsman and his daughters come back to help out at the end, and they kind of, you know, help things move along to save everybody pretty much. So very well done. The action was really good. And it goes through, and of course, Jack does everything he can to finally get Ashi to break free of this hold, and he's able to do it by, you know, professing his love to her. So she's able to break free of the hold, but she still has Aku's power. So that was a super awesome moment, and she's, for like a split second, she's battling Aku. She's basically just, you know, blocking his attacks, and then, you know, Jack is like, you have Aku's power. Like, she even busts out the laser vision. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And she's like, you're right. So she just stretches her arm, grabs the katana, and they jump back in time. And I was like, wow, that's pretty nuts. And of course, we get the whole ending clip, which is super awesome, because like we get the ending clip, and it's like, you know, Aku says his little speech where it's like, oh, you know, send Jack into the future, and it's like, I'll see you later. And then Jack and Ashi like come back right after that moment. He's like, you're back already. And Jack wastes no time, and that's one of the things I love with Aku. When he freaks out, he's like, wait a minute, and Jack just like splits him in half pretty much, and he's just slicing him up piece by piece. And then he has that final moment, which is a great way to do it, where it was a close-up on Jack, and then the long shot, and then it was a close-up on Aku. And it was just a great like final strike, and he, you know, impels what was basically half of his head, because he split the head in half, but we only see it from like a side profile. So he stabs him through, and then it's in the blade, and then he basically puts him back into, you know, his own spear, or whatever you really want to call it, completely destroys it, that he officially wipes out Aku, and Ashi feels it for a minute. And I thought in that moment, I was like, okay, maybe she is going to be fine, because of course, when you go back in time, anyone who's created because of the specific character surviving cannot exist if that character doesn't survive. And I was like, okay, well, maybe they changed it up. Maybe it's, you know, I don't know, maybe they're doing a thing where it's like, because she went back in time, she's not affected by the time travel. She was the one that made it happen, so she's exempt from that rule. It would have been an easy way to do it. And as we're going along, that's kind of how it seems. We get, once again, some callbacks to literally the first episode, where all the different groups of people, the Vikings, the African guy, the clear, you know, the Robin Hood dude, the monks and everybody, they all come together for Jack's wedding, because he's, you know, they all trained him as a child to adult, and he ultimately did end up defeating the great evil, Aku. So everyone's there, of course, his parents are there, and he gets dressed up, very cool outfit with the wedding gi, and of course Ashi gets dressed up as well, and so things seem fine, and I was like, this is pretty cool, and it's going along, and then she has like this look on her face, and I was like, she's about to disappear, and he looks at her and is like, something's wrong, and of course she passes out, and so he runs to her and is like, you know, what's wrong? And naturally it's because if Aku never existed in the future, then she can't exist at all. And she just fades away in his arms. The clothes remain, but it was just depressing. And it instantly, for people who may watch anime, it instantly made me think of Gurren Lagann. I was like, wow, that sucks. You have the ultimate battle. You know, you lose friends, even though, like, it's different because, you know, that was a time travel thing. But you have people that died. You're constantly losing people. You face the ultimate evil and win. And you get to that final moment, and it's just like, yeah, there's still a crappy moment just waiting for you after everything's all said and done. When you think you're about to have, you know, your happy ending. So it was definitely a sad way to do it, but it was perfectly done, though. You know, he has that moment, and there's not much that he can do, and then we cut to, like, the final scene of the series, and it's him on the horse, and he sees that ladybug, and it just gives him a bit of reflection, and he smiles. Like, she may not be here, but I know that the woman that I loved and lost is, you know, in a weird way to say it, is kind of like a small sacrifice compared to everything that I helped create, you know, for a better future. So he's able to kind of have some solace, and plus he has those memories of still, you know, being with her and having a great time. And he's able to kind of just look toward a brighter future. And, you know, of course, the sunlight comes out and he's under the cherry blossom tree. And it was an incredibly well done shot. And it's just, you know, the hills, and then the color starts to roll in because it was all gray and stuff like that. So it was a perfect way to end this series. Really loved it. Had some great action. And then just a very emotional moment when, you know, getting to the end and having what seemed like it was going to be that nice happy ending. And that's not how it plays out, but he's still able to go forward and, you know, live his life without being completely depressed. So definitely a great way to end the series. Sucks to see it go. As always, it just sucks to see a great series end, and it's a really crazy experience to have a show come back, you know, the way that this did, and only have, you know, 10 episodes and kind of bring you back into everything and then officially conclude. But of course it was a great way to end it. Would love to know what you guys thought about this finale, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it. Of course, I want to know your favorite episodes or just favorite moments from this season. For me, it's definitely like my top 3 episodes. It's still number 2, when you first fought the girls. This episode and the last episode, naturally. And then I'd say number 4 would probably be, I guess, the reference episode, actually, when Ashi was looking for him and we see all the people that he helped. And, you know, it was a cool reference, but it was also like, this is truly what he does. And it was kind of her learning even more about how corrupted she was initially, like learning about or believing everything she heard about Aku being the great hero and stuff like that. So very well done. Those are definitely, you know, some great episodes. Some other favorite moments, just some of the comedic things. All the callbacks were really cool. The visuals are just absolutely phenomenal. So all of that stuff was great. But would love to know your favorite moments from this season, favorite episodes, if you have like just complete episodes. And of course, like I said, I want to know what you guys thought about this final episode to Samurai Jack. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.